What's up, everybody? Sharpening Dude here again. I just got some skates in yesterday that I'm sharpening for one of the teammates of my son's team, and I just noticed that their skate has, or I should say their steel on their skate has something unique that I kind of wanted to share with you because I've been getting a lot of requests. And the topic that I'm going to talk about, if I'm honest with you, is more like a couple hours discussion over a couple beers. Because there's a lot of debate and there's a lot of opinionations and stuff like that, and I don't like to weigh on either side of it, although let's be honest, I like to talk. So the steel that I have is LS Balance steel. It's a new line that's coming out. Like, they sell it with their like kids skates and stuff like that. I think you get it for adult skates too, or you can buy it aftermarket through Bauer. And I've had a lot of questions on Facebook about the different types of steel and which ones are better and which ones aren't, but I thought that I'd take maybe just about 5 minutes of your time today, maybe 6 now since I've already been talking for a minute, talk about the steel. So I'm going to show it up to the camera so that you can see it and hopefully be able to read it all right. So that says LS Balance on there, maybe if I put it near my eyes. The main thing I'm trying to get you to be able to see is that power profile down there. Not power profile, but anyway, I don't think it's going to work for me. It says, I'll read it to you though. So it says 13-foot profile. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey John, do you do profiling? What's this whole profiling thing? And again, that's a conversation for quite a few beers. But this is stock steel that's coming with a profile. And specifically, they've mentioned it on here. It's a 13-foot profile. So I'm going to move back and forgive my fat belly. But if you can imagine that you took these blades and you stacked them up from end to end to end, right? And followed the curve of the blade all the way through, you'd get a circle out of it, right? And that circle, in this case, would equal 13 feet. So that's a 13-foot profile is what they're talking about. Now, there are a ton of different things that we could talk about with profiling. There is single radius profile, which is the most common thing out there. And you get skates that get sharpened a lot, like these, and that's called the banana blade, right? And you'll see this very common. And what it is it's someone who's been skating for a while and getting their skates taken to a shop that, maybe it's not done correctly, maybe they messed it up, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But you get this like banana thing happening, and the profile of the blade that it originally came with is gone. So as I'm sharpening these and I'm looking at it, I got to pay special attention that I'm following the curve of the blade and I'm not pushing too hard or too soft as I'm putting it through the holder onto the wheel, because if I push too hard, I can alter that profile. Now here's a secret that everybody knows but nobody says. No guy that does sharpening does it perfectly. And what I mean by that is I'm subject to it. Everybody else that does this is subject to it. But I cannot hold a 13-foot profile for my entire career, right? Like, if let's say that my job was only to sharpen this one pair of steel and I had to sharpen it, for the rest of my time. Over time, I'm going to alter the profile just because I'm a human. And I know that this is where all of you Sparks people are going to say, ha! See? And you're going to turn to your wife or your husband, and you're going to be like, that's why we bought it. And I would tell you, cool, but guess what? It's still a piece of machinery, and it's subject to human error like everything else. Just like all of my machines here are subject to human error. The Sparks machine is not perfect. They say that it does a perfect pass every time, which is true. It does a perfect pass depending on what you programmed it to, because let's face it, you're the one that's programming it. Do you really know what you're doing when you're aligning a wheel properly? Do you really know what you're doing when you're looking for edges? Are you even checking the edges to see if one side is higher than the other? All of those little tricks that are part of the game. And I'm not here to crap on Sparks. I think that it's a phenomenal tool, and it's really, really good in certain scenarios. If you've got one skater at home, like let's say that you're a mom and dad and you only have one kid, and the one kid's really good at hockey and he's playing at a high level and he's on the ice every day, and he needs to skate sharpened more than often, and you're tired of looking at this fat guy with a beard every time you come in to take him sharpened, I don't blame you, right? I would suggest that you get a Sparks. I would also tell you though that if you're going to get the sparks, you really should learn about like skate sharpening and some of the things that you need to know, because I've had to fix sparks jobs just like I've had to fix other jobs. I've had to fix my own jobs. I'm human like everybody else, and I've had bad days and good days. I'm subject to cold. I sharpen outside in the cold a lot, and I can tell you that right there can affect a lot of the things, not just me, but how the machine interacts with the steel. Anyway, I didn't mean to go on a long tirade there. What I really wanted to talk about was profiles. Some steel comes with a profile set in it. You guys have seen, if you've seen any of my posts over this past weekend, we're running a Blade Tech sale, and one of the options you can have is getting them profiled. There's two primary machines that are out there that do the advanced profiling that everybody keeps asking about. One's a CAG, one's a Pro Sharp. Which one is better? Who knows? Everything comes down to personal preference in the sport. If that wasn't the case, then we'd have a cookie cutter NHL player everywhere, and everybody just follow the mold. If you ask me personally, 96% of this sport is mental. It is all about what you think you're on and what you think makes you better. Everything else is subject to opinionation and just, you know, being wrong. What works for one guy doesn't work for another. So be careful when you get your steel. Make sure you know what steel that you're buying and what that means. And when you give it to somebody who's doing it, and again, I don't care if it's me, I don't care if it's somebody else, make sure that they know, hey, this is what I have on the blade. I could have a set of steel like this come in. This is Blade Tech, it's custom color, but guess what? There's not a single marking on here that tells me what this blade is, right? And that's fine. When I give this to somebody to sharpen, I would say, hey, by the way, I got this profiled, you know, with like a Pro Sharp Superior 2XS. Then the dude who's sharpening it is like, in his mind, he's like, ah, I know that profile. Or maybe he's like, hey, I don't know what the heck Superior even means. So you pound sand, which is fine. Always be upfront with people. Always be honest with them. If you don't know something, you don't know it. It's much better to give someone that answer than to try to pretend that you do. If you don't know what your steel is, that's fine. Tell me. Say, hey, look, man, I got this thing off of you know, Sideline Swap. I have no idea if it's good. I have no idea what it actually is on it. I've got these nice little fancy shaper bars over here. So this is what I use to profile. This right here is the 28. It's a goalie shaping bar. And I can compare the steel onto the bar to tell you like what it looks like. I just dropped my steel, so that's fantastic. Anyway, you guys get my point. If you've got questions, let me know. Lord knows I love to talk. I just had a customer here that was supposed to be here for like a 5-minute sharpening. We ended up talking for like 45 minutes. I'm pretty sure he hates me for life. Hopefully he comes back. Love you guys. If you got anything, let me know. Have a great day.